Parallelism, or parallel structure, or parallel construction, is about how the different parts of a sentence that might be of the same form or function have to have the same form or the same outward appearance. Now, that is very general and not very helpful, I think, as a definition. I think it's better if we actually see some examples, and I think in those cases it'll be quite clear what parallel structure is. There are two instances in which parallel structure is important on the SAT. One is when you've got lists of things, either lists of nouns, lists of actions, lists of verbs, or whatever. The second is when you've got correlative conjunctions, which we haven't talked about yet. They're also known as word pairs, and I'm going to talk about them in a later video, but I will introduce the concept now. In both cases, when you've got that list or that kind of correlation between two parts of a sentence, you've got to make sure they're in the same form. What do I mean by that? Well, let's take a look at this first sentence. After school, Bobby will swim in the lake, talk to his friends, and he is going to play with the dog. So one way I've explained parallelism, and some people don't really like it, but I think it helps some people understand what we mean by parallelism, is that the sentence has got to have kind of a rhythm to it, or a balance to it. If we read the sentence again, you'll tell that I kind of stumble a bit on the third part of this list, right? After school, Bobby will swim in the lake, talk to his friends, and he is going to play with his dog, right? We're waiting for something that is of the same form as the other two parts of the list. So let's look at this. After school, Bobby will swim in the lake. Okay, so we've got just the kind of the noun stem by itself, or the noun by itself, or sorry, the verb by itself, right? Then we got the same thing here. He will swim in the lake, prepositional phrase, talk to his friends, prepositional phrase, and he is going. So now we've got like this subject here and a verb. It breaks the rhythm. So what will we do? Well, let's change he is and make this just go. Or just get rid of go and make it play. Actually, that's better. After school, Bobby will swim in the lake, talk to his friends, and play with his dog. Perfect. Verb, prepositional phrase. And there you go. So that's what I mean. You can kind of tell the rhythm of the sentence when you kind of say it this way, right? After school, Bobby will swim in the lake, talk to his friends, and play with his dog. Much better than what the sentence had originally. One other way to check out parallelism is to cut the sentence off at where the lists begin. So here, right? After school, Bobby will blah. And then what you do is you take each piece and you match it to the beginning and see if it sounds right. So, looking at the original sentence, after school, Bobby will swim in the lake. No problem. After school, Bobby will talk to his friends. No problem. After school, Bobby will, he is going to play with his dog. No, right? That's a problem. But the new sentence works fine. After school, Bobby will play with his dog. Check. So that's parallel structure in a nutshell. Let's go look at another example. The new science textbook teaches experimental methods, theoretical concepts, and instructs students on proper technique. All right. Sounds kind of okay, but what's the problem with it? Well, again, we've got a list. The new science textbook teaches, okay, we cut it off here. First part, experimental methods, noun. Theoretical concepts, noun. And instructs students, verb. So we've got an issue here. So we got to either change the first two or change the last one. Most of the time you're going to change the last one. So how about let's just go ahead and cut out everything. Well, we've got to keep the end. We'll cut out this and just leave proper technique. Now we've got a noun. So now it reads, the new science textbook teaches experimental methods, theoretical concepts, and proper technique. Here we wanted the verbs. Here, though, we want a noun, so we keep it noun, noun, noun. Here it was verb, verb, verb. And, of course, this was a verb as well, but we need the right form of the verb. In this case, the infinitive without the to, right? It's just the verb itself, the verb basic form. Right, and again, we could slice it off here and see how it sounds. The new science textbook teaches experimental methods. The new science textbook teaches theoretical concepts. The new science textbook instructs students on the messed up, right? The new version, the new science textbook teaches proper technique is perfect. Let's look at the next example here. He wants to meet Bill Gates, build a computer, and a new desk. All right, what's going on here? He wants to meet Bill Gates, no problem. He wants to build a computer, no problem. He wants a new desk, no good. So we're going to have to, we slice it off here, and we realize, okay, this is no good. So what are we going to change this to? I don't know, we're going to need some sort of verb here, right? We got verb, verb, so we need a verb. How about get? And get a new desk. He wants to meet Bill Gates, build a computer, and get a new desk. Perfect. Now the next two are examples of when you've got correlative conjunctions, or basically word pairs that go together, where you don't have a list of 3 items. You've just got 2 things. But given that you've got a kind of expression or idiom that you need to fill in, you need to fill it in with the same form. And let me show you what I mean. Janet claimed not only to know the answer, but also understood how to explain it best. Well, notice we've got the correlative conjunction not only, but also. Now, we're going to talk more about these word pairs in a later video, but the key is when we've got not only, but also, the thing that comes after it has got to be of the same form, just like in the parallel structure we saw above. So, Janet claimed to know the answer. Great. Janet claimed understood how to explain it best. No good. So, let's see how we're going to fix this. So, we have claimed to know, so we need the infinitive here, right? But also, so we need something like to understand how to explain it best. Janet claimed not only to know the answer, but also to understand how to explain it best, right? So again, this sounds weird, but it's right. Janet claimed to understand how to explain it best. And there you go. If you want, let's see, can we put to here and then change it a little better? Janet claimed to not only know the answer, but also understand. Yeah, you could also put the to here, and then get rid of the to here and the to here, and it might sound better. So Janet claimed to not only know the answer, but also understand. What did we understand here? Yeah, understand how to explain it best. Okay, let's see. Anything else we can do to that sentence to make it better? Yeah, we're good. All right, next sentence. The sheriff wants to investigate the crimes of last year as well as working on the crimes of today. All right, same thing here, right? We got, in this case, wants to, as well as our correlative conjunction, so we want to make sure the thing that comes before and after it is of the same form. So the sheriff wants to investigate the crimes of last year as well as what? Well, we've got, well, actually we can keep investigate. Actually, this will be outside it. Right, he wants to investigate the crimes of last year, as well as, well, let's get rid of this, the crimes of today. And now this is of the perfect form, right? We've got, the sheriff wants to investigate the crimes, so noun, prepositional phrase, noun, the crimes, prepositional phrase, right? Now, a lot of this, you notice this is a lot also about style, right? It just, the sentence flows better and sounds better when these are of the same structure or form. And that's what parallelism is in a nutshell, is making sure the sentence has good structure because it helps you unpack the relationship between the words of the sentence when it is parallel like this. If you write it in all these different ways, try to vary your sentence structure, it just makes it confusing and hard to read. That's why we do parallel structure, and that's what you're going to see on SAT questions, especially improving sentence questions. But actually, no, you'll see it also in error IDs.